The railways of Britain, in their prime, are the most powerful railways on Earth. And these railways are the power behind the docks and industries that make up Great Britain. These are the tales of the Big Four.
Finally, 1923 was upon us. The engines were dozing in the sheds on the last day of 1922, waiting for the new year to tick over. They were all ready, with a radio that I'd brought over from the station for the engines to listen to. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As the clock ticked down the seconds, we already knew about the Big Four happening. So this is the story I told. Happy New Year, engines! Let's hope 1923 is a good one for us all. This year, I just want to say you're all going to be repainted into separate liveries to do with the Big Four companies. I was asked by the head of each company.
How will we know what livery we're getting?
From this book I've got here, it'll be over the next few days. Each of the 4 companies I've got in this book, you will go into the works at Axminster because they've got the equipment and manpower to get it done, rather than here due to the recent changes we've had.
Ah, this'll be interesting to see who will go into which company. Yeah, definitely, but I know I'll miss my GCR livery.
As much as I like GNR, I'm looking forward to see what we get next.
The engines gradually got repainted into their new liveries. As some of them were waiting by the workshops, Charles and William arrived first to be repainted into LNER.
You guys look splendid in your new liveries.
Yeah, you two have changed quite a bit. Now you're all plain black, with LNER on your tenders. I'll probably have the same, but that's fine. I don't mind that I'm just plain black, like you two.
No need to boast, Charles. You only have LNER Apple Green because that's what Sir Nigel Gresley chose for you. It's like the LMS have maroon. GWR have their own shade of green. Southern have their own shade of green, too.
The other engines came and went into the workshops. It took a few days in total, but eventually all of them were repainted, sitting in the main shed due to it raining all day. Mr. Todd wandered in with some bad news. Engines, I've got some bad news. I've heard from some workmen up the line earlier that there's been some flooding near Ravensdale Junction.
Oh dear, sir. Is it possible in any way?
I wouldn't count on it. At the moment, it could keep rising because the waters have burst the riverbanks, making the bridge crossing the river collapse due to the amount of water pressure.
Ah, bother. Then I assume trains will be cancelled from Ravensdale onwards?
Yes, Carlisle, that will be the case until the water subsides and we can get the bridge rebuilt. I don't know how much longer this rain will continue on for. I'll listen to the radio for the weather forecast this evening. The weather didn't let up. In fact, it got worse over the coming days. And to add to it, heavy fog came, making visibility worse.
Great! We get repainted, yet I can't see past my buffers with all this fog!
How are we going to get our work done in these conditions, even if we are trying to be safe? The goods work most likely will be held up. I heard some trucks filled up with water, and now they're ruined.
Ha ha! Maybe it's a train for the aquarium. Nice one, bro.
Alright, jokes aside. I don't think we're going to get much passenger services for a few days. so it may just be closed wagons for our trains instead.
Yeah, and even tents on our wagons.
Well, let's hope this ends soon. I wouldn't want to deal with this for too long, or the railway will have some problems, even financially. Think of what'll happen then. Ugh.
I'd rather not. We can only hope for the best in times like this, if we're going to get through this.
Yeah, you're right.
Herbert was out with the goods train when suddenly his driver slipped on the wet footplate, banging his head on the floor, knocking him out, making Herbert a runaway. His fireman couldn't do much to help due to him not being fully trained to drive a steam locomotive.
Hey, you alright, driver? Driver! Oh no! Help! Help me! Runaway train! What are we going to do? I don't know how to drive an engine! Help me!
Then, in the fog, they could see a building. It was a signal box. Herbert's fireman found the whistle cord, and Herbert's whistle blared as he raced past. The signalman was surprised and quickly alarmed the station master at the next station. Joey was in the yard preparing a train when the station master ran up, red in the face.
Leave those trucks! Herbert's a runaway! We have to stop him!
Reuben, he's getting closer!
Quick, set the points to the main line. I have an idea. Joey, get me 2 brake vans. On my signal, sir. Switch them back.
Right.
The points were set, and Joey quickly grabbed 2 brake vans. A workman climbed inside each and was ready on his cue. Reuben could hear Herbert getting closer, so he had to act fast.
Reuben, he's getting closer!
Reuben backed up for a running start as Herbert raced in. Then he sped through the yard and buffered up to the brake vans, still speeding up to catch up to Herbert. Reuben applied his brakes as the brake vans rolled along. They were only just faster than Herbert so as to not cause a bigger bump or an accident due to the weight of the train behind Herbert pushing him off the tracks. The station master quickly switched the points for the brake vans and switched them back for Herbert a few seconds later. Herbert braced for impact as the brake van screeched along the wet rails.
It's working! We're starting to slow down, workmen. Do the same, we can get this train stopped.
Let's hope soon! Hurry! Juniper Station's approaching! We don't know if there's an engine waiting!
They were still going pretty quick as they dashed through Juniper Station. Carlisle was there in the upper platform, shocked as he could just make out what was going on.
Oh my, that's not good. I hope they can get it stopped. It's this weather. It can be dangerous when we least expect it.
Luckily, Jackson, the newest engine, was coming down the line with a long line of wagons from the docks, as Mr. Todd had asked C.J. Churchwood to spare another goods engine while Max was away for his 5-year maintenance. He heard of the runaway and switched tracks, dropped off his wagons and chased the train, eventually stopping the runaway with the 2 LNER engines.
Thanks! I wouldn't have thought I'd get the train stopped on my own. There are drivers, so it's just down to Reuben here. What's your name anyway?
Oh, I'm Jackson. Been sent here by Mr. Todd. Told me you needed some more coal for the museum and the coal tower at the main sheds. Also, we heard that Max is in for his maintenance, so I was asked to help out for now while he's away.
Man, you're very strong from what I've seen, and you're only a tank engine like me.
Yep, I was one of the last members of my class. Plus, I'm for heavy freight. We're like the 2800s, but the tank engine. So, you can imagine I'm just as strong as they are.
Well, best go back then, since we've stopped now. Reuben, if you could take me back now, Jackson needs to collect his wagons again. We'll see you later, Jackson. Thanks again!
My pleasure. And yeah, see you guys later.
The 3 engines carried on down the line. Reuben and Herbert arrived first. The others congratulated Reuben for his bravery and quick thinking. As this was going on, Jackson arrived with the coal wagons. He uncoupled from his train and pulled into the yard in front of the engines.
Oh well, Jackson, is it? We heard you stopped the runaway.
I suppose, but I did what was right.
That certainly was the right thing to do. Thanks, Jackson. You helped to prevent a nasty accident.
No problem, sir.
Good morning, engines. Right, here's your jobs for today.
It's still raining. None of us want to go out, though. Cry me a river, why don't you? One more peep out of you, and I'll make sure you won't see the next time the sun shines.
Speak for yourselves. How do you think I feel? I got soaked by just walking over here to give you your day's work. But if that's how it is, Rory, you can jolly well stay in the sheds. I can get someone else to cover your trains if you like.
Yes, sir. Do that. Make him pay for his complaining. Shut up, Carter. It's not funny. No, sir. I will work today. Just bummed out is all with this rain.
You know, you should get used to it. It's not like America or other hot countries where they hardly get rain. This is the UK, after all.
That's very true, Jackson. However, it is a British thing to always complain about the weather. You wouldn't like it if we had snow, now would you, boys?
Oh, we've dealt with snow before, William. Way longer than before you were built.
So have I, but not here. I like it. Anyways, I'm off for my train. See ya suckers later.
We best be doing the same.
The engines left the sheds until it was quiet again. Charles was still there, for he was allowed to sleep in a bit longer, and it was Henry's turn to take the morning express. As for Max, he was to return from Swindon with his maintenance completed.
Oi, you there, who are you? I don't think I've seen you around here before.
Oh, I'm your replacement. Mr. Todd wanted me to take over so you can go scrap yourself.
Wait, what? Replace my tender?
Right, that's enough, Jackson. He's here to help out. Max, while you were away. I'm not sure what Mr. Todd's plans are with him, though. He's proven his worth, so maybe Mr. Todd will want to buy him to help you out.
I don't need help from a 2800 wannabe.
Wannabe? I'm a 4200. 1400 more than you.
Oh, whatever, you lay about. I'd best get back to Denway anyways. I haven't been here in 2 months, so it's nice to stretch my wheels again after sitting in the works for that long.
We'll see who the better one is later, when Mr. Todd sends you away.
Jackson then also leaves with his enormous train. Joey is shocked how strong he is. Mr. Todd was waiting for Max with some unexpected news. As they were speaking, Jackson returns from his run. Mr. Todd sees him returning and wanted to speak to both of the Great Western freight locos. Ah, Max, it's great to have you back. Say, have you met Jackson yet?
Yes, he's quite the character. Though, sir, just a quick question. Are you getting rid of me for Jackson?
No, of course not. You're a really hard worker, despite your laziness in the mornings. But you still get your work done on time and can pull huge trains, which helps the railway profits. So having you, Jackson, Rory, Carter and sometimes Carlisle on freight does help me out. As they were speaking, Jackson returned from his run. Mr. Todd saw him returning and wanted to speak to both of the Great Western Freight locos. As you are aware, Max, Jackson here took over to cover your trains. I got in contact with the works where he was built, and they said I can have him for a cheap price, the last of the bunch of his class. I decided to purchase him to help you out, Max.
Oh, thank goodness, sir. I thought you were going to say I was going to be put in the museum with the others.
That's what you think, Max. Nah, I'm only joking with you. But yeah, I'm staying here from now on. Glad to finally have a home. So, Max, what do you say? Let's take a rest and have a chat, get to know each other, and talk about the Great Western.
That sounds like a good idea.
And with that, they rolled into the sheds out of the rain. Mr. Todd wandered back to his house, thinking about the newcomer and what was to come in the future. It was getting more and more interesting as the years went by with all the new engines coming and going. But that's a story for another day.